George Washington, the blueprint, set the standard for everything and refused to be a king. John Adams, the intellectual, avoided war with France but passed the controversial Alien and Sedition Acts. Thomas Jefferson, the expansionist, doubled the U.S. size overnight with the Louisiana Purchase. James Madison, father of the Constitution, the guy who wrote the rules and fled the White House when the British burned it. James Monroe, the protector, told Europe to stay out of the Americas, Monroe Doctrine. John Quincy Adams, the diplomat, won via the corrupt bargain and was arguably a better congressman than president. Andrew Jackson, the populist, founded the Democrats, destroyed the National Bank, and responsible for the Trail of Tears. Martin Van Buren, the scapegoat, inherited a financial collapse, Panic of 1837, he couldn't fix. William Henry Harrison, the brief, died of pneumonia 31 days after taking office. John Tyler, the accidental, first VP to take over, established that the VP actually becomes president. James K. Polk, the conqueror, acquired Texas, Oregon, and California, accomplished everything he promised in one term. Zachary Taylor, the soldier, war hero who died mysteriously after eating cherries and milk. Millard Fillmore, the compromiser, signed the Fugitive Slave Act, trying to delay the Civil War. Franklin Pierce, the tragic, signed the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which inflamed tensions, widely considered one of the worst. James Buchanan, the bystander, did nothing to stop the South from seceding, often ranked last by historians. Abraham Lincoln, the savior, preserved the Union, ended slavery, and became the first assassinated president. Andrew Johnson, the impeached, botched Reconstruction and was the first president impeached. Ulysses S. Grant, the general, crushed the KKK, but his administration was riddled with corruption scandals. Rutherford B. Hayes, the deal-maker, ended Reconstruction to win a disputed election. James A. Garfield, the martyr, assassinated just months into office. His death led to civil service reform. Chester A. Arthur, the surprise, a party hack who surprisingly cleaned up the civil service system. Grover Cleveland, the veto king, the only president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms until recently. Benjamin Harrison, the spender, blew through the budget surplus and signed the Sherman Antitrust Act. Grover Cleveland, the comeback, returned for a second term just in time for an economic depression. William McKinley, the imperialist, led the U.S. into the Spanish-American War and becoming a global power. Theodore Roosevelt, the bull moose, trust-busting, national parks, and speak softly and carry a big stick. William Howard Taft, the judge, got stuck in the bathtub, myth, and became Chief Justice after being president. Woodrow Wilson, the professor, dealt with World War I and tried to start the League of Nations. Warren G. Harding, the scandal, presided over the Teapot Dome scandal, died before the worst came out. Calvin Coolidge, the silent, presided over the Roaring Twenties economic boom by doing very little. Herbert Hoover, the unlucky, brilliant humanitarian whose legacy was ruined by the Great Depression starting on his watch. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the titan, the New Deal, World War II, and the only one elected 4 times. Harry S. Truman, the decider, dropped the atomic bombs and started the Cold War containment policy. Dwight D. Eisenhower, the architect, built the interstate highway system and warned against the military-industrial complex. John F. Kennedy, the icon, Cuban Missile Crisis, space race, and a tragic assassination. Lyndon B. Johnson, the legislator, passed the Civil Rights Act but was brought down by Vietnam. Richard Nixon, the crook, opened China but resigned in disgrace due to Watergate. Gerald Ford, the unelected, pardoned Nixon and is the only president never elected as president or vice president. Jimmy Carter, the peacemaker, Camp David Accords, but struggled with the Iran hostage crisis. Ronald Reagan, the communicator, Reaganomics, and credited with helping end the Cold War. George H.W. Bush, the diplomat, managed the fall of the Soviet Union and the Gulf War. Bill Clinton, the prosperous, economic boom and the Monica Lewinsky scandal impeachment. George W. Bush, the wartime president. 9/11 response and the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Barack Obama, the barrier breaker. First black president, passed the Affordable Care Act. Donald Trump, the disruptor. Populist movement, trade wars, and 2 impeachments. Joe Biden, the veteran. Oldest president elected. Major infrastructure bills and post-COVID recovery. Donald Trump, the return. The second president in history to win 2 non-consecutive terms.